Most people think the United States is divided by state lines, but if you erased every border on the map, the country would still be divided by lines you can't see. Invisible borders decide where rivers flow, where cities rise, where deserts begin, and where forests end. Some of these borders are older than the country itself. Others are still moving today. Once you see these borders, you'll never look at the map the same way again. Most people believe the United States is divided by state lines, but the most powerful borders in this country aren't drawn with ink. They aren't marked by fences or signs, and most people cross them every day without realizing it. One of the strongest invisible borders in the United States is water. Every drop of rain that falls anywhere in the country belongs to a watershed. A watershed is a natural boundary that determines where water will eventually flow. Some rain ends up in the Atlantic Ocean. Some flows toward the Pacific. Some drains into the Gulf of Mexico. And some never reaches an ocean at all. These watershed borders ignore state lines completely. They cut across cities, farms, and entire regions. The largest of these invisible water borders is the Continental Divide. The Continental Divide runs from Alaska to Mexico. Rain falling on one side eventually reaches the Pacific Ocean. Rain falling on the other side flows toward the Atlantic or the Gulf of Mexico. In some places, this border is just a gentle rise in the land. You could stand on it without realizing it, but it decides the fate of every river downstream. Another invisible border most people never think about is time. Time zones aren't natural, but geography shaped them. Mountains, population centers, and transportation routes determined where time changes. In some places, towns have a powerful set of invisible borders. The country is divided into regions based on temperature, rainfall, and seasonal patterns. These borders decide where crops can grow, where forests thrive, and where deserts expand. Long before states existed, ancient geological borders were already in place. Deep beneath the surface, tectonic plates collided, split, and shifted. These invisible boundaries shaped mountain ranges, fault lines, and mineral deposits. The eastern United States sits on some of the oldest rock on Earth. The western United States is far younger and more geologically active. Wildlife follows invisible borders too. Animals don't recognize state lines. They move according to habitat zones, migration paths, and food sources. Some species exist only on one side of an invisible boundary. Rivers also create invisible cultural borders. The Mississippi River shaped trade, accents, food, and history. Cities grew where invisible borders intersected. Water, terrain, and climate quietly decided where people settled. Even today, invisible borders shape modern America. They decide where droughts hit hardest, where storms intensify, and where wildfires spread. These borders are always changing. Rivers shift. Climate zones drift. Ecosystems evolve. The map we see is only the surface. Beneath it lies a hidden system of borders far older and more powerful than any state line. Once you see them, you start noticing them everywhere. The United States isn't just divided by lines you can see. It's shaped by borders you can't.